It's hard for me to overstate how unique and pure his spirit is. The main thing I would say to summarize my friend Virgil Abloh, he was always big picture. To be able to maintain that eagle view is the definition of complete grace, complete class, and complete intelligence, to be honest. His atelier was a 909 and 808. Drum machines, turntables, mixing desks. This is all part of how I experience Virgil. Music is really so central to everything that he's about. Hi, my name's Benji B. I'm from London. I'm a producer, DJ, radio broadcaster. Been working with Virgil for a long time. I'm probably best known for in the UK is having a weekly radio show that I've had for nearly 20 years now. Scary to say. Virgil was one of the listeners that would tune in every week. He's one of those friends that's been ubiquitous in my life from pretty much the first time we started collaborating or working together. It was just a never-ending sharing of ideas, enthusiasm, excitement, pure passion around music.
Okay. You live in my dream state. Relocate my fantasy. I stay in reality. You live in my dream state.
The first conversation about Vuitton was about 20 minutes. I got the job. I didn't even need to ask what it was. I just knew. It's nothing to do with me. It's to do with how he sees music. He's thinking first, who's doing music? That's his first port of call, because music is really so central to everything that he's about. In that half an hour, we decided for every Parisian show, for every main show, we would only have live music. That was the right decision. Every single time, whatever it is, whether it be jazz or electronic music or orchestra, it needs to be a live experience. That's the texture we're going for. Music being at the center of everything that we spoke about and we did at Vuitton. Obviously, I should let you know that we spent many a night sharing a DJ booth together as well. Let me run you through who we've had. LV1, we call it One, his first show at Palais Royal was Bad Bad Not Good, jazz group from Toronto in Canada that we're big fans of. That was the first experience of doing the show, and obviously I'm sure you can remember it was you could feel like a kind of tectonic shift that day. I knew it was important, obviously, but nothing prepared me for what it felt like when the ground moved like that. You know, it was a very, very special day. And Bad Bad Not Good being our first band that we worked with, obviously, they will share that with us forever. For LV2, which was in January in the winter, we did in the Tuileries, and that was a New York street scene. And we had Dev Hynes and Ian Asaya perform for that one, which we felt was authentic to that. And then for LV3, which was in Place Dauphine, is the show that gave us the most direct, pure feeling. And I think it's because it was like a DJ set that we do, but played by strings. And I think it touched a lot of different people that day. You know, the beauty of live music is also the stress of it. You know, when you pre-record some music, you know exactly what that's gonna sound when someone presses play, right? But a live performance is, you can rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, but the performance is the performance, right? And so in a way, that imperfection is perfect, because that chance, that energy, that particular moment in the performance is what makes it unique. We had a whole Parisian square taken over, but with the cafes open. I didn't know quite what we were going to do, and I went to see the site, and I was like, okay, it has to be strings. I was sort of saying to V, like, so what do we do when we go back to, when it goes back to physical shows? Because at that time it was the peak of lockdown. He was very clear. He was like, it has to be theatre. I don't want it to go back to like just conventional fashion show, and I don't want it to go back to just film. For the next one, I want it to have elements of both. But orchestra was clear, that kept coming up, orchestra pit, sometimes a reference to opera, you know, these kind of theatrical elements. So I thought, okay, if I could have Tyler do music and have it arranged, and then I thought about Arthur Verocai. He's a 76-year-old musician from Brazil. My idea was Tyler the Creator does the score, Arthur Verocai does the arrangements, performed by an orchestra and conducted. And so the Chineke Orchestra, you know, actively promote diversity in classical music and also youth. For Virgil and I, as you can probably see, in every single show there's been important elements of bringing through youth and youth talent and giving opportunity to youth. And then the final piece in the puzzle, who's the best conductor in the world? I went to see the Simon Bolivar Orchestra conducted by Gustavo Dudamel, who's from Venezuela, and this orchestra was also young people that would never have got into classical music. Tyler in music is like, represents so much of the creativity and attitude and thought and everything of what we love. Bringing those four elements together, to be quite honest with you, I didn't know if it was going to work, because you've got Tyler sending songs from LA, me sending them to Brazil, them being arranged. Then the Chineke Orchestra arrive and you've got basically like 30 plus musicians in a rehearsal space way out in the north of Paris. We're waiting for the final arrangements to come in from Verocai, and they got printed in this office basically before it was even open at about 8 a.m. So basically, as the musicians sat down at 10 o'clock, we were about 5 to 10, the music arrived for them to rehearse for the first time. That is a reflection of how Virgil works in all areas of bringing together these things and the alchemy of how they combine. The single most brilliant connector of people I've ever known. If you want to know how important music is to Virgil, just look at these speakers right here that he's got in the Louis Vuitton office. Most fashion offices, what do you see? You see a table, some computers, like some racks of clothes hanging around. And his atelier was a 909 and 808, drum machines, turntables, mixing desks. This is all part of how I experience Virgil. Virgil was in service to art and culture and celebrating people's talent. And for that reason, I think that's one of the most important things that we can all learn.
Okay.